Story 1. The Impossible Astronaut. The cavernous auditorium fell silent as all eyes turned to the lone figure walking onto the stage. This monthly gathering of the Galactic Council brought together representatives from hundreds of worlds across the known universe. They had seen many species come and go over countless millennia, each more alien than the last. Yet none had ever encountered a human before. Whispers rippled through the majestic hall carved from shimmering biominerals. The plain-looking human seemed so mundane compared to the kaleidoscope of shapes, sizes, and colors around him. But his ordinary appearance only added to the air of fascination. Who were these newcomers and what were they capable of? The middle-aged man stepped up to the central podium, meeting the sea of staring eyes with calm determination. He activated the universal translator and began. "Greetings, council members. I am Maxwell Holt, Ambassador for Humanity. We are a young species, only just venturing out into the galaxy after mastering our home system. When we first contacted you seeking partnership, we were dismissed as underdeveloped and primitive, but we have already accomplished what many thought impossible." A murmur of amusement swept through the tiers. Maxwell went on, undaunted. "Our first manned interstellar voyage, for example. Your experts said our technology couldn't achieve near-light speed travel to reach even the nearest stars. You calculated a round trip to Alpha Centauri would take over 50 years. Yet, last year, our astronaut Allison Kim traveled the 4.3 light-years there and back in just 4 years and 11 months, ship time, thanks to our new Hawks-Feinstein drive." Shocked chatter erupted among the assembled delegates. Humans had done the unthinkable. Maxwell let the commotion subside before continuing. "Nearly 5 light-years in less than 5 years. We don't accept the limits imposed on us by others. The human spirit compels us to keep reaching beyond what is perceived achievable. This is what allowed Allison to accomplish the impossible. We will continue to transcend perceived boundaries and limitations to explore the universe." He stepped back, bowing modestly to thunderous applause as the entire hall rose in ovation. Humanity's bold vision had shaken their most ingrained assumptions. The Council now knew better than to ever underestimate humans again. Story 2. Rage Against the Dying Light. On the bridge of the UNS Discovery, a gargantuan ship of metal and crystal, Captain Ada Wakefield stood as a solitary figure of defiance. Her eyes, as blue as the oceans of their original home, were locked on the expansive viewport, watching as the last weak flickers of Earth's sun dwindled, fading into an almost forgotten memory. The once vibrant beacon of life was now a mere shadow of its former glory, and the Earth, humanity's ancestral home, was left adrift in an endless, frigid night. Decades earlier, scientists had made a chilling discovery. The once youthful and vibrant sun was aging prematurely, depleting its hydrogen fuel reserves at an alarming rate. The implications were clear and dire. Faced with the impending extinction of their species, humanity had made the colossal decision to abandon their homeworld. Giant colony ships, each a marvel of engineering and a testament to human resilience, fled to distant stars, carrying the seeds of human life to worlds unknown. But not all had given up on Earth. Captain Wakefield, a woman of iron will and unwavering resolve, had steadfastly refused to abandon their cradle to the encroaching void. She believed that humanity should not bow down passively to the immutable forces of the universe, but instead should rage against the dying of the light. With her potent mix of charisma and determination, she convinced the United Terran Command to fund one last audacious mission, a venture to reignite the faded sun and restore light to the home they had reluctantly left behind. For a grueling decade, Wakefield led her hand-picked team of the brightest engineers and physicists humanity had to offer. They toiled tirelessly, preparing payloads of exotic dark matter, mined from the unimaginable depths of a nearby quantum singularity. This strange and enigmatic substance, if injected with microscopic precision into the dead core of their former sun, would theoretically trigger a rebirth of stellar fusion, breathing new life into the dying star. After years of preparation, the moment of truth had finally arrived. As the final dark matter payload was launched, a ripple of anticipation ran through the ship. The payload fired, sending concentric shock waves pulsating through the skeletal remains of Earth's sun. On the bridge, Wakefield stood as an immovable rock against the tide of uncertainty, muttering a silent prayer. The crew huddled around the view screen, their collective breath held in suspense. Slowly, almost imperceptibly, a speck of brightness pierced the void. It grew steadily, swelling from a smoldering ember into a radiant orb of boiling plasma, its light cascading across the cosmos. The once dead star was reborn, its light restored to its former glory. The bridge erupted into cheers and tears of joy as sunlight, a sight they had almost forgotten, bathed Earth once more. In that moment, humanity had not only defied the cruel cosmic order but had also proven their mastery over nature itself through sheer force of will and determination. As long as the flames of their unconquerable spirit and insatiable curiosity continued to burn, humans would rise to meet any challenge the universe dared to place before them. Bathed in the radiant light of the resurrected sun, Captain Wakefield stood proudly. Her face was illuminated by the light that had once nurtured their species, a shining symbol of human ingenuity, resilience, and the will to endure. No matter what hurdles lay ahead, she knew that humankind would never go gentle into that endless night. Story 3. The Girl Who Stole the Stars. In the pulsating heart of the Galactic Enforcement Headquarters, the Intergalactic Police Chief, a towering entity with a writhing mass of tentacled appendages, slammed his limbs down on the crystalline surface of the command desk. His voice reverberated across the room like a supernova. "This is completely unacceptable. How in the 7 galaxies did you let a human child, a mere hatchling, abscond with an entire nebula teeming with stars?" The sheriff, a lower-ranking entity with mottled green skin and a multitude of pseudopods, shuffled uncomfortably under the chief's irate glare. He stammered, "My sincerest apologies, Chief, but this was no ordinary human juvenile. She was unusually cunning, even for their species." As the sheriff recounted the tale, the chief's multifaceted eyes blazed with incredulity. The human girl had appeared at their post on the edge of the Penumbra Nebula, asking innocent questions about the beautiful celestial formation they were entrusted with guarding. Her childish curiosity had disarmed them, and in their complacency, they had neglected to notice her ulterior motive. When they awoke the next galactic day cycle, the glowing nebula, once a radiant testament to cosmic beauty, had vanished without a trace. A swift investigation led them to a nearby moon, where they found the human child nonchalantly perched on a rocky outcrop. Incredibly, she had managed to condense the trillion stolen stars into a small pink backpack, its fabric now shimmering with captive stardust. The flabbergasted officers encircled her, demanding the immediate restitution of the stolen celestial bodies. "But I need them for my science project on hydrostatic equilibrium," she protested, hugging the glittering backpack close to her chest. After a lengthy negotiation filled with the girl's spirited pleas and officers' stern rebukes, she reluctantly agreed to relinquish most of the stars. However, she insisted on keeping 6, a tiny fraction of her astronomical theft, which she smugly christened Andromeda. Celeste, Zoe, Nova, Cosima, and Galileo. With a sigh, the sheriff concluded, "So while we managed to recover approximately 99.99% of the stolen nebula, she outsmarted us in the end." The police chief, still reeling from the audacity of the theft, uttered a string of unprintable alien curses. The thought of reporting this incident to the Galactic Council filled him with dread. How utterly humiliating it would be to admit they had been outmaneuvered by a human child. He sighed, his many eyes focusing on the stack of paperwork that awaited him. He knew, in all likelihood, the council would merely issue a stern warning. After all, kids will be kids, even when they manage to pilfer trillion-star nebulae.